Back in 2021, the people at SM Entertainment had what seemed like a genius idea. SM is one of South Korea's biggest music companies, and over the years, they had built up a lineup of some of the most famous women in K-pop. There was Boa, the legendary solo singer who had been with the company since she was 13 years old and had become one of the biggest stars in the old gen K-pop. There was Taeyeon and Hyoyoung from Girls' Generation, a second-generation group that had been dominating Korean pop music since 2007. There was Seulgi and Wendy from Red Velvet, one of SM's famous groups, and there were Karina and Winter from aespa, a newer group that had quickly exploded in popularity since their debut in 2020. The idea was to put all 7 of these women together in one group, not a permanent group, not a group that would replace their existing careers, just a special project group that would exist alongside everything else they were doing. SM called this bigger project Girls on Top, or GOT for short. The first unit to come out of the project was GOT The Beat, Girls on Top The Beat. On December 27, 2021, SM officially announced the group and revealed its members to the world. They were called the Female Super M, which was a reference to an earlier SM supergroup made up of male K-pop idols. GOT The Beat debuted on January 3, 2022, with a song called Step Back. Before that, they gave fans a preview on January 1st at a big SM concert event called SM Town Live 2022. These were not rookies who needed time to find their footing. Every single person in the group had years, in some cases over a decade, of performing experience. However, the release was also controversial. The track is about a woman with high self-esteem warning another woman away from approaching her lover. Many people criticized the lyrics for promoting rivalry between women, which led to mixed overall reception. SM gathered their most famous female idols to make a misogynistic song that appeals to men. About a month later, they performed on popular music TV show M Countdown, and on January 30th, they won their first music show award on Inkigayo. The members themselves were clearly having a great time. In interviews, Karina and Winter of aespa talked about how much they were learning from older, more experienced artists like Boa. Taeyeon described it as something she had never imagined she would get to do, saying that working with Boa felt surreal to her because Boa was someone she had looked up to for so long. After Step Back, the group went quiet for nearly a year. This is not unusual in K-pop, where project groups often have long gaps between activities while their members go back to focus on their main groups. In December 2022, reports started coming out that GOT The Beat was preparing a comeback, and SM confirmed it. On January 16, 2023, they released their first mini-album, which was titled Stamp On It. The mini-album had 6 songs on it, including the title track of the same name. At first, it seemed like a solid follow-up, but something felt different from the energy that had surrounded Step Back a year earlier. The hype was not the same. It cooled down a lot. Stamp On It peaked as number 80 on Korea's Circle chart, a significant drop compared to the top 5 performance of their debut single Step Back. The album sold around 171,000 physical copies in South Korea and just over 2,500 copies in Japan, which are respectable numbers, but far below what many fans and the company itself had hoped for. For a group that comprised of SM's most famous female idols, you'd expect a better chart performance. On February 6, 2023, the group held their first and only fan sign event. At the very end of that event, Taeyeon said, "The first and last fan signing of GOT The Beat has ended." Fans claimed she was hinting at the disbandment of the unit. However, it wasn't clarified if she was only implying that it is their last event as a group or last fan sign for their music release. But considering the poor chart performance of Stamp On It, many people believed they would probably disband. There is no single dramatic moment that killed Got the Beat. There was no public fight, no scandal, no big announcement saying the group was done. It just quietly stopped. First, there was the issue of scheduling. Got the Beat was made up of 7 women who each had their own extremely busy careers. aespa was growing into one of the most popular K-pop girl groups, which meant Karina and Winter had concerts, album releases, brand deals, and international schedules constantly. Red Velvet was still active and preparing their own comebacks. Taeyeon was one of Korea's most popular solo artists and was releasing her own music. Boa was not just an artist but also an executive at SM, producing other groups and running multiple projects. Getting all 7 of these people in the same place at the same time with enough free time to record, rehearse, and promote was logistically incredibly difficult. Secondly, the results of Stamp On It were disappointing compared to expectations. SM Entertainment had invested heavily in the idea of Girls on Top as a large-scale project. The plan, when it was first announced, was that Girls on Top would eventually include every female artist at SM, rotating in different combinations based on themes and concepts. Got the Beat was supposed to be just the beginning, but when the second release did not perform as well as hoped, SM seemed to quietly step back from pushing the project forward. Third, and maybe most importantly, the bigger world around SM Entertainment started changing very rapidly. In 2023, SM went through a major internal power struggle that resulted in its founder and longtime creative force, Lee So-man, leaving the company. Lee So-man had been the person most responsible for the SM style. His departure caused a lot of uncertainty inside the company. With the man who originally championed the Girls on Top concept now gone, the project lost its most important supporter inside the building. As 2023 turned into 2024, the 7 members of Got the Beat continued their lives and careers as if the group no longer existed, because for all practical purposes, it did not. There were no announcements of new music, no hints of a comeback, no photos from a studio session. The official social media accounts for Girls on Top went completely silent. In March 2024, Taeyeon appeared as a guest on a talk show hosted by former Super Junior member Donghae and In-hyuk. They brought up Got the Beat and asked her directly whether there was any chance of the group coming back. Taeyeon's answer was honest and not very encouraging. She said, "I'm not optimistic about that. I doubt it. It's frozen." She did soften that slightly by saying it's frozen for now, rather than completely over, but the overall message was clear. She also made it plain that she personally had loved the experience, calling it a mind-blowing opportunity that she would never forget, particularly the chance to work alongside Boa for the first time. At around the same time, the K-pop community started to talk more seriously about the likelihood that Got the Beat would never come back. Several fan sites and K-pop news outlets posted retrospectives on the group's short run. The K-pop fandom wiki updated its page to describe Got the Beat in the past tense, noting that with the group going inactive and several members having left or preparing to leave SM Entertainment, it was widely presumed the group had quietly disbanded. One of the biggest practical reasons why Got the Beat cannot realistically reunite is that its members have been separating from SM Entertainment one by one. Got the Beat was an SM project, and its existence depended on all its members being part of the same company. As those ties have weakened, the possibility of a reunion has become very unlikely. In April 2025, SM Entertainment announced that Wendy's exclusive contract had come to an end and she had decided not to renew it. Wendy chose to have her solo career managed by a different agency while remaining a member of Red Velvet for group activities. This split arrangement, where an artist does group work under SM but handles solo work elsewhere, is becoming more common in K-pop, but it still represents a significant change from being fully inside the SM family. Then, perhaps the most symbolic departure of all, BoA left SM Entertainment at the end of 2025. After 25 years with the company, after debuting at age 13 and becoming one of the most iconic solo artists, BoA and SM parted ways as of December 31st, 2025. SM released a heartfelt statement calling her the pride, joy, and symbol of the company for 25 years. BoA posted her own message on Instagram saying she was leaving without regrets. It made the idea of a God the Beat reunion even harder to imagine. With BoA gone and Wendy's solo ties to SM severed, the group that once brought all 7 women together under one roof now has members scattered in multiple directions. As of April 2026, God the Beat has not had any activity since their Stamp On It promotions in early 2023. There has been no music, no confirmed plans, and no official disbandment statement. SM has simply never addressed the group's future directly. The Girls on Top project, which was supposed to eventually include every female SM artist in rotating combinations, never produced a second unit. The idea of multiple Girls on Top units with different themes and member combinations never materialized. The social media accounts for Girls on Top remains dormant. BoA has left SM and is beginning a new chapter of her career independently. Wendy is handling her solo work through a different agency. The members of aespa, Red Velvet, and Girls' Generation are all keeping busy with their respective groups and solo careers. God the Beat existed at a very specific moment in time. It came together when SM Entertainment was riding high on the success of multiple girl groups, when aespa was the hot new act, when the K-pop industry was booming globally after years of pandemic disruptions, and when Lee So-man was still the driving creative force behind the company. By the time their second release came out in early 2023, all of those conditions were starting to change. The company was heading into internal turbulence. The supergroup concept had not delivered the success SM had envisioned, and the sheer logistical complexity of managing 7 major artists under one project banner was proving to be more trouble than it was worth. God the Beat's run was short and ended very quietly.